Throughout human history, human nature has kept evolving through the ages. Ever since the Stone Age, humans have always desired to conquer more territories, to gain power and fame, and this desire became the fuel of what we know today as war. But what would have happened if these wars never occurred? How would the human mind and conscience process this need? In this exhibition, we are looking to analyze artistic works left by our ancestors to decipher this question. We wish to know what was the motivation behind those wars and how they are connected to other things like religion. Journey with us in this exhibition to discover the true secrets of war. Our first painting would be The Death of General Wolfe, created by Benjamin West in the year 1770 with the technique oil on canvas. The first piece of art in our exhibition is one of the most influential works of its time. Benjamin West, the creator of the work, wanted to depict the sacrifice of General Wolfe during the 7 Years' War. The British victory over the French in one of the most important battles in the 7 Years' War came with a heavy price. General Wolfe was known to be a tactical leader with a sharp mind, yet the paintings depict a tragedy, the tragedy of losing someone important or someone loved. Analyzing the painting, the triangular composition is easily noted in the work, the flag being the upper corner of the triangle and the men around the general being the lower corners. Naturally, the main focus in the work is of the general himself, dying due to his wounds. If you haven't noticed yet, the relation with this painting and religious messages are visibly clear. General Wolfe depicting Jesus Christ himself, while his devoted followers are his devoted army. Lament his death around him. We find a lot of religious elements in this work, which deeply ties war with religious beliefs. The second work in our exhibition is actually one of 3 paintings. This painting is the Battle of San Romano, painted by Paulo Uccello, circa 1438 to 1440. It was tempera on panel. Another painting in our exhibition, and depicting another important battle. This is actually a set of 3 paintings Paulo Uccello made during this time. The forces of Florentine and Sienese in 1432. This is the London piece. The story consists of these 3 paintings, each one depicting a battle during this war. This would be the first one to occur. In the painting, we see Niccolo da Tolentino, commander of the Holy Troops, charging into battle. He was known to be quite reckless and would seek a fight when he saw one. Yet here in the painting he is depicted as a hero, charging directly into battle. It is speculated that during the 8 hours the battle lasted, he never left his horse and no one couldn't saddle him. He was known to be very religious and would fight in the name of God. We can also appreciate the concept of good and evil without a gray area in this battle. The left side consists of the righteous Florence cavalry and on the right side the evil Sienese forces. And it can also be noted that the Sienese forces are running from Niccolo, clearly having the upper hand in the battle. The third painting in our exhibition is The Consequences of War, painted by Peter Paul Rubens in the year 1637. A different approach to the paintings we have seen before in our exhibition, but related to war nonetheless. The Consequences of War depicts a woman latching herself onto a man. She is holding on tight with children all around her. Behind the man is another man, with a worried look on his face. It seems all of these persons are prepared to die by the hands of this man. Or the man with the shield is taking the other man away to the horrors of war, leaving the women and children behind. If we analyze the artwork further, we know the man with the shield is not a common man, but Mars, the god of war himself, and the temple behind him is the temple of Janus, god of time, which in all Roman symbolism would symbolize a time of peace when the door to the temple was closed, and a time of war when the door was open. As we can clearly see, the door is open. Times of war are coming. The woman depicted in the artwork is the goddess Venus, the goddess of beauty. In ancient Rome, while the man holding the torch is Alecto, the depiction of anger incarnated. It depicts war in its primal state, fighting and dying over and over again, until victory is achieved.
Fragment of the Codex of Aztlatitlan, 16th century Mexico. One of the defining events on the history of the Americas is the Spanish conquest of the Mexican Empire, a conflict in which religious factors influenced both parties and set them against each other. The conquerors look at the Mexican gods as cult of the devil, and through the fight they burn lots of documents regarding the Mexicans' belief and look to turn them into Christianity. As we can see, there is a clear distinction made between the conquerors and the native people. Despite the lack of techniques like perspective, we can see there is layering and profundity put on the piece. This fragment of the Codex of Azcatitlan represents the meeting between Cortés and the Malinche with the Mexicas. The Crusaders reached Jerusalem, 1332, by Domenico Paradisi. Religion and war. Through the history of civilization, both have come hand with hand into some of the most relevant events in history, and maybe none comes close to the significance of the Crusades, the Holy War to regain the holy city of Jerusalem from Islam. This work represents exactly that. Thousands of European knights railed through centuries at command of the people to regain their city. This piece might be the best example of the relationship war and religion have. Through the history of humankind, represents best of what we want to tell than the Crusades. In this piece, we can see exact moment in which the knights reached the holy city in which the Savior died. The passion we can see in each of their faces shows us the fervor of their beliefs. The way they kneel before the city represents the inferiority of the human race against the gods.
Statue of Ares. This is believed to be a statue of Ares, the Greek god of war. As we can see, it is done in what appears to be the iconic Spartan armor. Despite the lack of detail on the body, we can infer this is due to the high crested helmet he is wearing. A curious observation about this work is the lack of the classical Greek canon, which consisted of young and athletic men. Its anatomy is also severely lacking, as we can see in most of its body parts, like the arm and the legs. The proportion is the biggest offender, as it lacks a lot of resemblance to the human body. However, this could be the result of a lack of technical skill from the artist. Ancient Greece is no stranger to the art of war, not too surprising coming from the same civilization that saw the birth of the mighty Sparta. Ares represented the violent side of war, unlike his sister, Athena, who stood for the more intellectual and strategic side of battles. The fact that the Greek pantheon had two deities that represented war tells us just how important this activity was for the citizens of Greece and their everyday lives. Pterochora Antifix. This carving depicts the lovers Venus and Mars, who both were identified as Aphrodite and Ares in Greek culture. The two of them are sitting beside each other under what appears to be an archway. Venus is wearing traditional Roman robes, while Mars is only wearing a loincloth. Mars is also holding a spear, which will help to remind the spectator of his status as the Roman deity of war. Unlike the previous statue, this work adheres to the canon in a much more evident way, not to mention it is thought to be created 4 centuries after said work. Both protagonists' anatomy is identical to that of the human body, and the proportions are accurate. They are both portrayed as being young as well. Despite the Romans taking great inspiration from Greek mythology, Mars, unlike Ares, represented military power as a means to secure peace. War wasn't a staple in the lives of people in ancient civilizations. It is to no one's surprise that the deities representing this activity would be represented in idealistic ways.
The next artwork is the entry of the Crusaders in Constantinople, which is a representation of the Fourth Crusade, work done by the painter Eugene Delacroix, where he portrays the people of the city asking for mercy to Count Baldwin, who is making an entrance to the capital of the Byzantine Empire, Constantinople, followed by a parade. The use of darker tones captures the ominous atmosphere of that event. The city, on the background, is burning, using this to show the horrors of war. Red tones are prevalent and straight and curved lines are abundant. making evident the artistic movement to which this painting belongs to. The contrast between light and dark in the background and in the characters in the front helps us frame the situation in a better way. It also helps us to tell apart the attacking characters and the defeated, giving the painting a theatrical feeling. Tutetis, also known as Tutates, is the Celtic god of war, wealth, and production, to whom human sacrifices were offered to appease his fury or as a form of redemption. Their victims were usually prisoners of war. In this work, this god is seen accepting the sacrifices as an offering from the warriors and these captives being drowned. According to the Roman writer Lucan, Tutates is usually associated with two other gods, Taranis and Issus. He mentioned their cults were extremely bloodthirsty in his manuscript Pharsalia.
We hope that you enjoyed this exhibition as much as we did creating it, and we hope you learned something valuable from this exhibition. Our objective was to show the world how mindless bloodshed can affect its history, even if it's ethnical, religious, or other differences, and how we, as a human race, can keep evolving without the need of bloodshed and wars.